right. Make sure I'm in frame and whatnot. What's going on, guys? How is it going? What is going on? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well myself, and just decided to come up on live just to talk my little smack and whatnot. See how long this can go for because I'm planning on doing a little something later on today. So fingers crossed that I can actually get that across, anyways. But excuse me. Unwanted Ghosts. Shout out to my man Triangle Guy. Yeah, I'm switching up the aspect ratio today. Just trying to go more. I hope I don't get cooked for this. More vertical. I think horizontal is that way. Yes, yes. What's going on? Hey, yo, what's good? What's up? What is up? I got 5 people in here now. All right, yo, hey, how's it going? Guys, enjoying the whole switch up with when it comes to the brand and whatnot. I know I'm the Breaking Bad guy, but every now and then you got to spread your wings and go a little. Just gotta go here and go there and seeing what's going on because yeah, I mean, hey, I think after making the Invincible What If and making the Squid Game What If, I just genuinely like telling stories, and I kind of thought, I mean, words to the fan base or whatnot, I kind of thought I was this one trick pony that can only like really emphasize and tell a good story when it comes to Breaking Bad and whatnots, but I guess history would show a different story where, hey, I guess when branching out anything, it kind of just takes a little bit to kind of get my wings and then I'm gonna take off and fly because yeah, I really like the Squid Game What If that I did, and I was when I say I was locked in, I was like up until maybe like 2 in the morning my time, because just to give you an example, right now I'm sure your time it's maybe like, I want to say maybe like 2:30ish, maybe in the Eastern Standard Time. Well, right now it's about 8:30 where I'm at. And I was up till maybe 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get editing this Squid Game What If, just like the intro and outro and recording it and stuff like that. Just working on the final touches. And I'm happy with what I came up with. But enough about me just kind of, toot my own horn and whatnot. So I want to hear from you guys. Did you like the Squid Game What If? How you liking the new transition of content and whatnot? I hope it's everything that you come to hope to expect from a storyteller such as myself. I'm gonna take it because my vision's pretty garbage even with my glasses on. So yes, it's fine. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Jesus Christ, 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, T-Pain song. Okay, I get it. Yep. Better read ending to season 3. I hate the ending of season 3. I mean, we can talk about that in a little bit as far as how the original Squid Game goes, because something else I wanted to talk about, seeing how I am here, is the fact that a lot of people, I've gotten maybe, well, not a lot of people, because I mean, I'm just a micro influencer, YouTuber, whatever guy, but a lot of people are very, very upset when it comes to me making this Squid Game What If and making the title that I chose, which was, I guess if you haven't seen it already, what if Gihan survived Squid Game Season 3? Because as you all know, in Season 3 of Squid Game, my man leaned back and never got up. That's all I gotta say about that. Not to get too deep into spoilers, even though, I mean, come on, he's dead. But people are very upset talking about, why would you spoil the ending in the title, and why would thanks a lot for spoiling it, and I've just unscribed, you lost another subscriber, and I'm just like, dude, the show's been out for not years, but the show's been out for about 3 weeks at this point. I don't understand, and if you were just to type in Squid Game, I don't know, Squid Game ending explained, Squid Game something or whether or another, you would see, because that's before I even made the title that I made. Like, I've seen so many different, Squid Game alternate ending, and then you see the baby, dead on the ground or whatever, Squid Game this, Squid Game that, and I'm just like, dude, relax. Like, seriously, relax. It's not that deep. It cannot be that deep, to be honest with you. And people are just like, oh, what do you have to say to the people who couldn't binge watch this? I'm like, dude, you don't even have, and the thing is that bothers me when it comes to that is, this is a person who left a comment on my video saying that they were spoiled by my video when they could have just swiped up. Just swipe up. Okay, even if you do know Gihan dies or whatever the case is, you don't know how he dies, what the circumstances are, etc., etc. So at the end of the day, it's all about the journey. And when it comes to, I guess, any character in the fucking world, when you kind of break it down, at the end of any show, series, franchise, whatever, they're either gonna live or they're gonna die. I mean, I don't really understand that. And for me, it's more about, again, it's more about the journey as opposed to the destination. It's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, you kind of knew Gihan's path, especially if you watched the end of season two. It's kind of like, dude, didn't want to be here on it anymore. But that's besides the point. And it's just been like mind blowing reading some of the comments where people are genuinely upset or they want to unsubscribe or all this other stuff. And for that, I mean, bye, I guess, because I can't, what do you want me to do? You want me to say, no, come back, wait, no, please don't, I need your one, I cherish each and every one of my subscribers, and you guys are more than entitled to make your own decision on what you want to do. I love each and every single one of you guys, but if you ever decide the point where you want to go or you want to leave or my stuff is not for you for whatever reason, you can just go. You don't have to make a big announcement about it. Like that's the part where I didn't really understand. I'm just like, are you wanting a reaction? I just feel like these people are, I think I put in a comment like this person's a bubble blowing baby or whatever. Because it was just odd. And I think the comment read something along the lines of, oh, am I supposed, you expect people to drop everything they're doing and binge watch the entire series? I'm like, one, it's about 6 episodes. And secondly, if you haven't watched even the first episode after 3 weeks of the show's been released, it's chances are you're not going to get to it no time soon. And I mean, hey, that's all I got to really say to that, because hey, I'm no one's parent, like, hey, I mean, I do my best, but and then I think I commented, I'm like, well, what would you want the title to be? And they were just like, oh, what if Gihan had a different fate? And I mean, like, well, that says it without saying it. You know what I mean? What if Gihan had a different fate? Well, so if he didn't die, he lived. Like it's the same thing. So I don't know, man. For me, I'm just like, whatever. Like, oh, I got something in my eye. Ah, oh yes, the fucks I forgot to get. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see about that. People who have a big announcement about it are cringe. Yeah, exactly. That's Jade. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I don't understand the announcement. It's just like you can just leave. You don't have to be like, attention, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am offended at the spoiler in the title, so I'm unsubscribed. I'm like, dude, you can just. I mean, okay, I didn't know you existed a second ago. And I'm like, well, congratulations. Now you're hated forever by Merge. You know what I mean? And now even have other people like jumping into those specific comments, basically saying, hey, don't listen to that Karen Merge. And I'm just like, I'm not, but I do my best. Like I say at the end of every one of my videos, I do my best to try to respond or reply or interact with the comments left by anybody because hey, if you're gonna leave a comment on a YouTube channel, I feel like the least I can do is either like it, heart it, or send a comment. Send a comment right back, respond, reply, whatever the case is. So that's what that's kind of my thing. But if we are talking about Squid Game just for a second here, um, people did do some interesting what ifs out there as far as possibilities where I can branch out and make different episodes of it and stuff like that. I appreciate it all. I've actually gotten a really cool email. The name escapes me. I believe it starts with a U. I'm sorry if you're watching right now. I apologize, but somebody sent me an email, and let me tell you, it is exactly what I would love to get as an email. Someone sent me like a full script, basically, and it was like, when you kind of scroll and scroll, and I'm like, God damn, like, and I'm just like, okay, it's cohesive. It's not just this big block of a paragraph. It's like, it's broken up. It's got bullet points. I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about. I would genuinely hire that person, whoever that person is. Like I gotta reply back to it, and he basically wrote like a happy, like, what if Gihan had his happy ending? Basically, him getting the happy ending as well as taking down the games once and for all. And based off what I did read when I skimmed through it, at the end it does involve the front man Inho getting arrested and stuff along those lines. And I'm like, okay. And if it wasn't so close to what I just put out, I would have probably paid it a bit more attention. But for the time being, I actually have something that I'm recording tomorrow that's Breaking Rad related. Hey. And then after that, when I do have an Invincible what if that I plan on getting to before the end of the month. Because Yeah, you know, like I mean, I want to kind of continue that invincible story that I did left off on the last video. So I want to kind of and I did say I want to just kind of pump these guys out, you know. So I got some recording that I'm doing. Once I'm done with this live, I definitely. Oh, I guess somebody done. Somebody just left me a comment. What if Thanos killed somebody else? I don't know. I'll talk about the character Thanos. But once I'm done with this live, I do have some stuff I'm just gonna proofread so I can record tomorrow. Taking a day off from the gym because holy smokes, guys! Like I've been pumping some iron. Like I've been in that iron kingdom and I'm just getting it in. Like my triceps are like really like they're killing me a little bit. But you know, I'm trying to get that birthday body. You know what I mean? And plus, at the same time as well, just to not to get too personal. I mean, not that anyone. I don't know if you guys really care, but I am going on like a little small family trip on Friday. It's nothing big. It's gonna be like a day trip in the mountains somewhere, and you know, just gonna have a cool day with the fam. So I'd like to at least get my recording taken care of, as well as at least the Invincible script nearly finished because it's basically finished. Like, it's basically out there. And then after that, I have one script that I did receive in an email regarding the character Victor. So I got my fair share of reading going on. So thank God I can read. Um, but yeah, you know, so announcements are all out the way and all gone. Let's just talk about let's see, who else? Let's see, what else would people be upset about that I can just rant on for a second? Because let me just take a quick look at the old Chatteroony really quick. Yep, flex that. Oh, flex the muscle. Oh, no, okay. Merge Productions. Hope you have the best time. Good luck. Word to Unwanted Ghost. Bro, do a What If Hank and Gomi were dirty cops. That one is still in the conceptual phase yet. At this point, have not gotten around to that one just yet, but it's coming. Squid Game season 3. Forget it. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, when it comes to Squid Game season 3, I mean, I'm not the only person who probably felt this way, but it should have just been one season. Like, I can't be the only person who thought that because the way season 2 ends is the exact same way season 3 begins. Like, it's there. And for me, I think I brought this up in another stream before, but for me, when I watched Squid Game season 2, like I watched it when season 3 was out. So for me, it was like there was no delay, no change, no interference. It was just one long shot. You know, I was watching that thing for like 2 whole days, and I enjoyed what I seen. You know, I really liked it. You know, and I'm sure anybody else going on from this point who haven't seen Squid Game season 2 or even season 1 for that matter, you're gonna enjoy the ride because it's good. It's a good show. There are certain parts that I don't like, mainly just the order of some of the games and stuff like that, because by the end of Squid Game season 3, like at the very season finale when they get to the last game, you genuinely maybe only care about maybe two people other than Gihan. That's weird. Other than the actual main character Gihan, and everyone else is just literally cannon fodder. Like when you watched it, you're like, okay, well, all these people are gonna die because I don't know anything about any of these people. One character I do, Player 100, that I did not like, but I guess that's a good thing. You know, he was one of those villains that you love to hate. You know, so like for me, I'm like, oh man, I hope this guy gets a brutal death, but he didn't really die as brutally as I would have expected him to. But he still died nonetheless. Oh my God, am I supposed to say spoiler alert? I'm not gonna. I don't think. I think I'm moved beyond the point of spoiler alert period, because unless I'm doing something like a next day reaction or something like that, which I don't think I'll probably ever do, because I generally like to take my time with my scripts and stuff like that. So it's never gonna be like a next day, maybe like next week or a couple days. Like for example, the Squid Game. What if it's been out for 3 weeks? So I think I could talk about it without throwing up spoiler alerts every 5 minutes or whatever the case is, like some of the bigger people. Because I mean, at this point, again, you know, if you're watching a stream, and regardless if you enjoy me for me just going on my rants or just you want to watch the show in tandem with my thoughts, it's like, dude, if you haven't did homework, I mean, at this point, you know, it's like, hey, you can't expect anyone to wait for you. You know what I mean? Like I think that's fair. But Squid Game season 3, again, for the very finale of the show, it was pretty. I would have liked to see Gihan win. You know what I mean? Like I personally would have loved to see him, you know, maybe survive just a little longer until the Coast Guard gets there, but he wouldn't have known that they were even on their way, because as far as he knew, once his little tooth implant was gone, he was just like, well, I'm on my own now. So he didn't know any better, but I would have loved just to see what would have happened if they would have just waited for a couple minutes. You know, it's just like, okay, he waits out the clock or whatever. But again, I can understand why he didn't, because hey, he's holding the baby. And like I said in the video, I get the symbolism, but for me, I just felt like it, his daughter, his own kid, you know what I mean? Like that part right there just kind of bothers me, just for the fact it's like, dude, you made this big grand sacrifice for a child you never met. You kissed her on the forehead, you laid her down gently, you protected her with your life. But at the same time, when it came to your own daughter, your own flesh and blood, dude, you couldn't even have the decency of saying a word on the cell phone that you called her from, and just leaving deep breaths and stuff every time. Like that part really bothered me. And then towards the end, it's just like, oh yeah, I can't talk to you, but here's my bloody jacket and a credit card with a bunch of money on it. Like, hey, I appreciate the money, but closure goes an infinitely long way, just in my opinion. You know what I mean? But going back to some of the characters, you know, like it's that I did enjoy. I did like Myung Gi, you know, the player 222 MG coin. You know, I loved him. I liked him for a few different reasons, mainly for the fact of you didn't really know where his allegiances lied. You know, he was this crypto scammer, but at the same time, he's a father. But at the same time, he cares more about investing his money. But at the same time, he wants to build a family with his girlfriend. But at the same time, she's gonna die. But at the same time, the baby's here. But at the same time, you know, he's down to the last 7 players, and he's just trying to win. And at the same time, he did dangle his baby over a cliff and threatened to kill her, and expected the person who was not her father to have more sympathy for the kid, which you know what I mean? So he kind of had a lot of different layers behind him and stuff like that. But um he was one of my favorite characters, so I'm glad he made it. I really wish they would have did more with Minsu, the little drug addict little boy. You know, I'm just a little disappointing how he just started hallucinating all of a sudden. Like he became an instant drug addict after maybe taking 2 pills. Like that's, I mean, come on. I mean, even if you smoke weed or something like that, you're gonna have to like kind of participate in a few hot boxes before you call yourself addicted. You know, so I'm just like, that's a stretch. But you can just tell that the writers probably didn't know exactly what to do with his character. Maybe if he would have probably just had more pills or something like that, that would have been different. But hey, it happens. Oh, let's go. Let's take a look at the comments really quick. Merge, you're not a serial spoiler. You should know that already. Yeah, I know that, Ghost. Gihan did everything but go see his daughter. I completely agree. Literally did everything. Like he was on the tarmac. He was basically in the on the tarmac of the plane and decided to turn around. Like why? It, dude, like you're there. You probably got your plane ticket. You dyed your hair red, all this other stuff, and what you said. You know what? I see this guy. The Squid Games are still going on. I'm gonna put a stop to it. It's like I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be there when you get back. Like, I'm just saying, you could have at least stopped by to see your daughter. You were on the phone with her. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, and you're a billionaire. You know, like that's the part that's just like, ah, man, you know, made all the wrong choices. And I get it. Maybe you're maybe the traumatization of your friends being killed in front of you and having to kill people and stuff like that kind of driven you to make that choice. But it's like at some point, you know, it's no excuse, because who are you exactly telling any of that to? You're not going to be able to tell that to your kid, your wife, your friends, or anything like that. Like, hey, I had led this mutiny and my best friend died. Last season, on season 1, I had to kill one of my best friends who was this esteemed college student. So I don't know, you know. What's good? What's good? What's the name? Blue eye. Oh wow, shit, that kill me. Eye Dragon Gaming. What's going on? Um, what is bro yapping? Bro, you don't understand. 5150 General. Jump off a bridge somewhere. Do it. Pull a gi on. Um, but yeah. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah. I just had to take a quick look at the chat really quick, see who's all making fun of me. The Squid Game reminds me of the Hunger. Nah, I never seen the Hunger Games, to be real with you. I thought it was trash. I'll be honest, like any of that young adult stuff, I have not seen. I remember, I think I connected every single young adult book, novel, movie, whatever the case is, from the Maze Runner to Squid Game to Divergent to, I mean, not Squid Game, but Hunger Games and all that. It was all in the same thing, you know. Like I did not like any of that. Twilight, 50 Shades, like all that shit can go in the bin. Like it just wasn't for me. Just to plain and simply, like I just didn't really jive with it, and it all kind of looked the same. You know what I mean? Let's see. Do you watch Supernatural? Man, people ask me that a lot. No, I mean I get the gist. What's his name? Dean and Sam Westchester, Rochester, Whitchester. They're fighting demons and killing God or something along those lines. I mean, I get the concept, but I mean, for me, it's just again, man, shows with like 10 plus seasons of anything, and I haven't watched episode one. It's honestly intimidating for me. I'm not gonna. I can't see myself just being like, man, I'm gonna sit down and stay planted for X amount of days without picking up my phone or anything through thick, thin, bullshit or not, with these hour-long potentially episodes. And I'm like, dude, man, look at here. Again, if a show's an hour long and the episodes are that long, and you don't get me by episode three, it's over. And then if you waste my time for like, if I feel like my time's being wasted by watching these shows, I'm like, I'm good. And for me, I think when it comes to the supernatural thing, I think someone went over it before. They basically said like, yo, the show could have ended at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point. But hey, we're gonna fight God. We're gonna fight the devil. We died. Oh, we came back. Oh, we died again. You know what I mean? I'm more than good on that. What else we got here? You finished watching The Sopranos or not? I haven't even started, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Not even started. Read the novels. Let's see. Do you like novels or Lord of the? What? Do you like novels like Lord of the Mysteries or I'm willing to give anything a chance. I'd rather read a book as opposed to look at a TV show just for the fact that you can read a book a lot faster than you can get through 13 seasons of television. Unless it's something prestige, but I'm not opposed to it, but I just haven't had a chance to look at anything. I think the last novel that I've read fairly recently, as a matter of fact, Night of the Triffids, which was I guess the inspiration behind 28 years, weeks, months later, which was also great. What do we got here? Hot take: Sopranos is extremely overrated and boring. See, it's comments like that that makes me be like, I don't think I need to read that. I don't think I need to look into that. Eventually, I will, but just, I mean, there's a lot more television that I watch where I could be like, let me make a series about that. Let me make a what if about that. You know what I mean? So, I take my time when it comes to my craft. But yeah. So just as another just a quick update, quick reminder. First things first, anybody who's watching right now, I'd appreciate it wholeheartedly. Leave a like, hit that like button just to let me know that you're real, not bots. Let me know that you're 100% not faking it. Also, just throwing it out there, you totally your call, not mine. But hey, feel free to, hit that super chat button as well. I mean, hey, I'm just saying. Thirdly, appreciate all the comments. So I'm just gonna I'm just about to pay some attention to the chat really quick before I go on my little yapping session. Let's take a look here. Do. Okay, I stopped watching Supernatural at season 4 and 5. That is crazy. That's almost around the same time I stopped watching like The Flash and stuff like that. Because I was like, after so many episodes, I'm like, geez, this shit went on for 9 seasons, and I think I've stopped at season like 4 or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Watch the Walking Dead episode. Would you be down to watch the Walking Dead episode 1? Probably not, Grayon. I'll be honest. Over the years, I think I probably said the story a few different times. I've tried to watch The Walking Dead at least 3 times over the last maybe like 10 years. I would say that. So for a solid 10 years, I'm like, oh, let me try it. Let me try it. And I'll get into it, and I'm just like, I got bored, or I get into it, and oh, I had to leave, or I get into it, I'm like, I'm good. What's his name? The main character guy. He wakes up in the hospital and he sees a Walking Dead head or something like that. Or I think he's like a police officer. I mean, I get the gist for the most part, but again, I just feel like it's one of those shows that's just been stretched out so thin where it's barely anything that matters because I'm sure at this point, if I were to watch The Walking Dead and make it all the way to the end, I don't know how much my time would be cherished or not. To be completely real with you, because I'm like, man, The Walking Dead. Then you got The Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Walking Dead, um, the Telltale games of The Walking Dead. Like it's just it's too much, and I'm perfectly fine with. I think I say this to a lot of people. I'm perfectly fine with never having to watch it again. Just to be Rick Grimes. That's the guy's name. Rickolas Grimes, the man who died, but he didn't die. He actually went to an island somewhere with the lady with a sword. Am I on the money? That's all I'm saying. And he had to kill his kid or something like that, Carl. Let's see. How far do you get into The Walking Dead? One episode. I mean, I've seen certain points. I seen Like I think I went to a watch party one time where the episode where Negan came and he killed Glenn and stuff like that. Like I got that part. You know, I'm like, okay, I get it. Oh man, that was a cool episode. I'm pretty like, and then I'm like, oh man, who's this character? It doesn't seem like the show series gets good until Negan actually shows up. You know, and I'm just, at that point, I'm like, geez, I gotta slog through all that to get to that. I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Maybe try another show. Please don't mention Dexter either. I've tried Dexter. I've at this point in time, like Dex, so much time has passed since I watched Dexter for the first time, and then now I'm just like, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. Get out, voice. No, no, no. What else we got? Yeah, Walking Dead is pretty mid. I agree. Seasons 4. Yep, all garb. See, that's what I'm talking about. What's the name? Empty. Earn empty. You know, seasons 1 through 4 are seriously fire, but after that, it's garbage. How many seasons of that's what I'm gonna ask the chat. It's chat right now. How many seasons of The Walking Dead are there? Is it 10 seasons, 15 seasons? And then after that, how many spin-offs of The Walking Dead are there? Somebody Google that, let me know, get back to me, and let me see what's going on. Because again, and then after that, how long are the episodes? Don't answer that one. They're 1 hour long. I know that for a fact. What else we got here? There are 50 11 seasons and 5 spinoffs. You got me fucked all the way up. Like, that is an insane and ungodly amount of television to watch because out of when there's 50, Jesus Christ, you know, like that's an insane amount of television to watch for the simple fact of like, oh man, I'm guessing there's maybe about 12 episodes in a season. Fingers crossed. That's the on the maximum, I would assume. I can't do it. I refuse to do it. I mean, again, hey, I'm sure 1 through 4 are amazing, but I'm not the type to also, you know, like, cause I like, you know, when I watch TV shows and stuff, I get invested, and I don't want to be like, oh man, I wonder how this ends when it's like just trash, you know, or when I knew it's gonna be trash. So I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I cannot say it with good consciousness that I would watch The Walking Dead. So I feel like that's gonna be a question that's asked. Fuck, like, what 2 hours and 20 last two have two oh my god 20 episode seasons. Just no, I'm sorry guys, like let's be honest, let's give up on this dream of me making what ifs for Walking Dead. I'm not. I feel like hey, think times get desperate. Maybe if I like break a leg or something like that, or you know, like oh man, I can't. My back's broken and I have to lay down and I have to recover for 6 months or whatever the case is, and all I have to watch for some strange reason is The Walking Dead Complete Edition. Absolutely, nobody wished back pain upon me, but that's the only way I see it happening. You know what I mean? And then it's just, I just can't. You know, I genuinely I can't, bro. I'm sorry. Oh man, someone just commented on one of those comments that oh man, the big George. Just everybody, if you go to my comment section, the big George. Somebody just said it's been out for almost a month now. It's on you. I mean, I didn't read the full comment because I'm not trying to destroy the stream, whatever. But yeah, that's exactly what feel about that. You know, people are genuinely upset about a spoiler in the comments. I'm like, dude, you just want attention. I think that's what it is. You genuinely want attention, and at this point, I'll let the comment section take it from here. Let's see. Yo, do the thug shake, my dude. Nah, Jinx, Jonks, whatever your name. Nah, I'm not. Is that some boondock shit? Nah, man. What if Walter somehow killed Gus before the Gus killed the cartel? That's not a good Jeremiah guy, ton. That's not even that's not even an idea. Somehow Palpatine returned. Like that's the kind of energy that comment that question gives off. I'll be honest, dude. Are you still hopping on the Fortnite? What the fuck? Hey, don't do that. Don't put that evil on me. Fortnite. Dude, I'll be honest, man. I haven't played video games in so long, and I doubt like, yeah, Fortnite's gonna be my entrance back into anything. At this point, I'm waiting on GTA 6 for the next game that I'll like willingly like, you know what, I'm purchasing this. Before that, I mean, my birthday is coming up, so I mean, I might splurge a little bit because I do want to play Black Myth Wukong. I heard that game's awesome. because like how games are these days, it's just like, geez, you don't own the game, you own the license to play the game, and I'm not really a big fan of those kind of politics. So like as long as it's a game where I can get a disc on it, and that's it, where I don't have to every time I jump on the game I have to download some other stuff, and I'm just like, dude, come on, it's just like 300,000 gigabytes or whatever, and I'm like, man, it's one of those things where it's like, man, is the PlayStation 5 designed to only play or hold or save one or two games? Because, geez, the memory that some of these games have, I'm like, well, I guess I gotta delete my Spider-Man files or whatever the case is just so I can play another game, because all this other shit is just shit. You know what I mean? Nah, so I ain't playing no. I'll be honest, guys, I'm not playing any of those games. If you want to see these what ifs and stuff like that come out pretty consistently, you better hope I don't find a game that I like. That's what I gotta say. That's really what I gotta say about that, because man, I was at one point a very, very big fanatic of video games. Now at this point I'm just like, yeah, I can take it or leave it. I grew up. Like that's really it, Sometime between Grand Theft Auto 5 and I don't know, the PlayStation 4 coming out, that was my window. And then after that, it's gone. I mean, I got a PlayStation 5 specific. I had a PlayStation 5 specifically for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 2 wasn't all that great. So it kind of makes me second guess a lot of things. And I'm just like, well, maybe I can just wait until there's a sale, like I'll wait for the hype to go down, but as far as games like Fortnite or any of these free games or Subnautica or Explorer Expedition 22 or all this other stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Like I'm genuinely okay. I I don't like the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of the idea of paying for microtransactions of games or game passes or the battle pass or anything like that. I'm an old fashioned dude where when you buy the game is bought. You grind throughout the game for the accessories, like gun skins or whatever the case is. You get everything you can. You 100% the game, get all the trophies, collectibles, whatever the case is, Batman Arkham style, and that's it. I'm not the biggest fan of the whole, oh man, you got to get the new DLC for this and the new this, and I'm just like, dude, I mean, no. Like I feel like it should just be that. That's just it. That's all I gotta say. All right, okay. Rant over, I guess. Merge, make Infinity War, win the Avengers win. That's funny. I could have sworn they won an Endgame, but that's fine. Dang, dude, my man Lucas Olson really desperate to get that question answered. Thor goes for the head. Full stop. Like I guess that'll be the end of it, because that's just life. Bro, when the Heiserverse what ifs coming soon? Yeah, I'm working on one right now, dude. Expect one about this time next week. You should see something like that. Um, appreciate you for all being here. Okay. What den Fuhr? Oh man, sounds like some German shit. Let's see. If sucks that it sucks that games cost me $70 and I beat in like 3 days. See, that's Rick Grimes. That's another thing. Like I think at me when it comes to gaming and stuff like that, man, I will look at every single type of review from the content creators to I mean, IGN isn't worth any. Their opinion doesn't count at all these days. But I'm looking for all kind of reviews when it comes to video games before I play it, because I want an experience, And I mean, granted, if a game it takes 3 days to beat, but it's an amazing game, it better not cost $70, because after that, it's kind of like, what is it? Open world? Like what's the campaign like? What's the replayability like? Is it something like Deathloop or something like that, where I can kind of go back and collect this or go back and beat the game this way? It has X amount of different endings. Like, is it like that? If it's not, dude, I'm not, I would wait for a sale. I'll wait for, because I'm not in any rush to play a game, Like, if anything, I'll watch people, I'll watch the walkthroughs or I'll watch the cutscenes, and I'm like, and then I'll get distracted by something else. And then next thing you know, maybe a year passed or whatever, and I'm like, oh, look at that game. It's on sale now. And oh, look, it's half price. Like the only game like I will spring for at this point, especially because I do have a Nintendo Switch, so I want to get this at some point in time, is the Super Smash Brothers game, which is apparently it's never going down in price, which is crazy because that game's been out for since the Switch came out. I'm like, dude, come on, man, like lower the price a little bit, just a tiny fraction. Can you do it? You know, like that's good. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, man, video games are too expensive, and the fact that they're doing like I did catch on to that whole pirate software and stop killing games drama and how they got this petition going to basically stop killing games where the game developers are like, you know what? After about 5 or 6 years, after you've invested all your money, time, or whatever the case is into this game, we're just gonna stop all the servers and just kill it, you know. So it'll basically be nothing. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to, you know, and so I hope that movement gets all the steam in the world. Funny. I hope it just, you know, it does what it needs to do because that doesn't make sense, you know. It's just like, hey, you don't own a game, you only own a license to play the game. It's like, no. If I buy a DVD for something like that, I own the DVD. If I buy a physical copy of a game like via PlayStation 3, like I own the game forever. But for some reason, when it comes to the newer games in 2025 and stuff like that, it's like nah. Well, like what's that game that it was a popular, not really a popular game, but it was a game that came out at last year or 2023 that was only alive for like 6 months or something like that, and it was some DEI whatever. Fuck, what was it? It had like like people in wheelchairs, and it was dumb, but it was kind of like a Overwatch clone. Fuck, oh god, it's gonna kill me. If anybody knows what that game is, it was out. I believe it was only out for like 6 months or something like that. Then what? No, you're not doing it. You're not getting that. Um, no. Help me understand what that game is. Con. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I forgot what it's called. Concord. Concord. That game was out for like 6 months and now it's dead, but people apparently bought it and stuff like that, and now you can't do anything with, you know, like I mean I get that they issue refunds and stuff like that, but that's the point, you know. It's just like, dude, if it's out, put it out. You know what I mean? I don't think it should be a game that could be shut down. You know, that's why for me, like I'm a big fan of physical media. I know a lot of people don't like it for reasons I'll never understand. I mean, yeah, it takes up space, but it's nice to put a game inside your system and it turns on and it works without having to download something every 5 seconds and stuff. Hmm. Well, oh, the cat was probably eating. Their little cat feet. I don't know, they're probably eating. Yeah, this is my little studio slash cat room. You know, where I like to talk to you guys at the same time play with my cats whenever they're around. But ugh, jeez. All right, what we got here? Oh man, video game talk. All right, let's see what else we got here. Gee, my man. Okay, earn empty. Really talking with my cat. I prefer it as somewhat of a collector. Yeah, yeah, Rick Grimes. That's what I'm talking about. You know, like, do you like the Batman Arkham game? Psh, bro, I played every Arkham game except for Origins and the Justice League Suicide Squad one, which is apparently supposed to be a sequel to the Arkham games, but it's not. They literally probably just coasted off the name. And yes, I did see the cutscene where they had Harley Quinn kill Batman for reasons. And yeah, it was dumb. But yes, I loved all the Arkham games. Definitely my favorite has to be Arkham City, the middle one where, and I remember I remember when I bought that game. Like it was like the game of the year edition. Like it had like showed like Batman like in this black and white font with like he was kind of like doing one of these, and I was just like, bro, that game was awesome. Like I mean Arkham City. I mean what's the one after Arkham Knight? I think with Jason Todd or whatever. I mean that one's fine, but for me the Arkham Asylum, like, because how I knew I liked the Arkham Asylum one is just the fact that again you have this, even though you're in the asylum and stuff like that, you can still choose to beat the game in a way that you like to beat the game. You know, like I think it was one where you had to save Catwoman or from the Scarecrow. I don't really remember the exact specifics, but from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City, which I again love Arkham City, then Arkham Knight, which it was still fine, but because the only thing I didn't like about the Arkham Knight was the Batmobile mechanics. Like that shit was just dumb. Like it made me upset. It was just the fact of like this big tanky bulky stupid shit that I just didn't really like, and it kind of ruined the game for me. I prefer just to kind of like fly around, beat up crime like Batman, because when you kind of get into your grooves playing as Batman and you hit these like 100 combo, like combos, and you could jump around and hit this guy, then hit that guy, then get the person behind you, then do a leap backspin, whatever the case is, dude. It was I love that shit, man. Like, but sadly, for some reason, they don't make games like that anymore. Sad story. Sad story. Oh man. Do you like Star Wars? I used to. I used to like Star Wars. I still haven't gotten around to watching Andor, but Star Wars used to be the fucking shit. I mean, I'm a '90s baby, so I was primarily a prequel guy. The prequels was my first four-way, my first steps into Star Wars. Like I don't really like I remember the Phantom Menace, like watching it, but I don't remember nothing other than Jar Jar Binks saying all this weird Misa stuff, and then the fight at the end where you had Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fighting. It's like that shit was awesome. Like I was like, this shit is fucking cool. But then the whole time I was just like, where's Darth Vader at? Like I don't I didn't understand the concept that it was a prequel. So I was just like, was hey, yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't really understand the concept of a prequel at the time, so I was just watching the shit, watching it just to watch it, and I'm like, okay, any minute now. But when Revenge of the Sith, which I would argue is the best of the best of the prequels, even though all the prequels I would say is pretty meh. But man, Revenge of the Sith, that 40-minute long lightsaber fight it's awesome, and then how it ends where Anakin, it's over, Anakin, I have the high ground, like all that was just, oh man, his legs getting cut off, that whole I hate you, I'm just like, fuck, man, this is cinema right here. I mean, I like Empire Strike Back and A New Hope and like all the other Star Wars, but I'm like, for me, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's filmed, but I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, I mean, the sequel trilogy with what's the name, Kylo Ren, I would just say it's fine. I think The Force Awakens is the best of those three. Yeah, The Force Awakens is the best of those three other movies, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, which, whew, those movies are hard to watch. Like, it's difficult. You know what I mean? Oh man, what name me a car I had it? What the heck? El Primo. Okay, white Maserati Quadriporte, which was one of my old cars that I had before I came here. Let's see. What do you think you'll do more Squid Game? What if? I can say I have at least one more Squid Game what if in me that I will genuinely have written, well, will have done. But after that, I couldn't say. To be real, just to be real with you, I genuinely couldn't say. I got more what ifs, more invincible what ifs coming, but after that, hey, it's all in the air, so to speak. Let's see what else we got here. Joining late. Oh, DJ129. What's good, my dude? Let's see. I got more what ifs myself. Cool, cool, cool. What? Posted quite a few for you, marriage. All right. Well, I'll see you in the Discord, dude. Or the guards of the Globe killed Nolan and when they attacked him. That's cool. Well, if the Guardian, that's one that I'll be working on. So I don't want to weigh too much into that. But if the Guardians of the Globe if they killed Nolan, well, I think if they killed Nolan, what would happen is the Viltrumites would come to Earth. The ones the black one with the mustache and the lady, they would come to Earth and just fuck shit up, you know. But maybe the Guardians will have it, but it's hard to say. But I would say that if they did kill Dolan, oh man, the steps that would be taken after that, you know, it's kind of like, man, well, they have to deal with Anissa, they have to deal with Thula, they have to deal with Lucan, they'd have to deal with the one with the glasses, they'd have to deal with Conquest. And putting Mark in charge in a situation like that, I don't think Mark, you know, would Mark would be willing to take charge of that? Who's to say? But it's an idea. That's what I would say. Have I watched the Lion King? Dude, have I watched the Lion King? Yes. Who the fuck hasn't seen the Lion King? It's Hamlet. I've never watched a live action version of the Lion King. I'll be honest, guys. Like when it comes to a live action version of these Disney movies and stuff like that, the only one that stands out to me or stood out to me the most. Give me a second here. Yeah, the only one that stands out to me the most still to this day because it was so different was the Aladdin one. Because between you and me, guys, my favorite Disney prince, hero, whatever you want to call it. Oh man, so yo, I need to compile all these. I need to compile all these. I need to compile all these comments because people are still coming at me in the comments when it comes to the title of the video that I made for Squid Game. What if? I was talking about Aladdin. Oh yeah, so my favorite Disney dude Prince guy is either between Aladdin and Hercules. Like that was just my jam back then when I was younger. But yeah, and seeing the actual live action version of it, I mean, I think it was actually a better Assassin's Creed parkour movie than the actual Assassin's Creed movie that we got. I mean, Will Smith was pretty good in it. You know, I mean, it's not compared, not no comparison to Robin Williams, but Will Smith was great in it. Like, it was all good. You know, it was a good. I feel like it was a really good movie. You know, overall, you know, I think it was kind of like, hey, it made changes when it needed to, and it was fucking solid. You know, I really enjoyed it. As far as everything else though, Lion King, no. I mean, based off what I've seen of it, it looks more like a like I think everyone said this joke before, but it looks more just like a documentary. You know, it looks just like a National Geographic, like, oh, lions in the wild. As you can see, the young cub stalks the praying mantis, or you know, like it's just meh, you know, and that Mufasa 2 Lion King story, I tried watching it. I genuinely tried because it's on Disney Plus and it's free. And I was just like, I'm just not gonna, you know, like I'm just really not going to watch this movie. There's no reason to watch this movie. Like that is a movie. I'm just like, I don't understand why this was made. You know, I mean, I don't know how much money it made in the box office or whether or not it warranted to be made. But dude, like, come on, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Disney is running out of ideas, and for the ideas that they do have, they're just ruining what they already had. At this point, I would say by 2050 or something like that, Disney's not even going to be an actual company. You know, it's just going to be, oh, we're doing the third or fourth remake of Lion King, but this time it's going to be stick figures or whatever. You know, it's just, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's okay to just take a step back and make some new ideas, you know, because all these sequels, whether it's Toy Story 5 or Milana 2 or 3 or Inside Out 3, you know, like it's just like, dude, come on, we did like we already there's no more story to tell there. Move on, you know, or if there is a story to tell, just give it some time. Let it cook for a little bit, you know? Like I would have been more interested in seeing like a you know, like a Monsters Incorporated 2, like Monsters Inc. 2. You know, like hey, with Mike Wazowski and Sully and the girl actually growing up and stuff like that, because that was one of the movies that I genuinely was like, yo, this shit right here gets me, especially now that I'm older, like it gets you in the feels, you know, like it's like damn, fuck, you know, I got nieces and nephews and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck, man, that's you know, it's and just to see like an older version of that, like yeah, give it some time, 20, 30 years from now, or I mean, whatever the case is, and make a new one of those. But what they did is like, oh, let's make a movie with the Monsters University or Monsters at Work, and I'm just like, it's fine, but you know, just make something new. And I get it. I haven't seen Elio or whatever the case is, so I don't know how well that did. But I did make an attempt to see Lightyear, which trash movie, garbage, dumb. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, come on, like you guys have ideas, Disney. Come on, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, and it's like you're telling me the best you can do is just remakes of the things that you've already done. Oh, but let's put someone black in it, aka Little Mermaid or whatever the case. Like that's just dumb to me. Like it just doesn't make sense, bro. I'm sorry. Like it makes me hate watching stuff because it's like, oh great, let's okay, I want to watch something that's not going to be as good. You know what I mean? Like that's genuinely how I feel every time I try to watch something new that's a quote remake or retelling or whatever the case is. I mean, even when it comes to Superman, it was good. Like I said, it was good, but again, it feels like a movie that's like a part two of a trilogy that we missed a part one of, and it leaves you with more questions than answers because just like, oh, okay. I mean, again, I enjoyed the movie. It was fine. It's not perfect or anything like that, but it's just like, man, you couldn't do anything else with it, because I mean, at the end of the day, it just wasn't fresh. That's what I can say about it. It just wasn't a fresh movie. The ideas were already done, whether it's been done in Smallville or other Superman movies and stuff like that. And again, I can't. It's a really good Superman, really strong cast, but it was just not. The ideas weren't fresh. Like I would have appreciated it more if he would have probably spun around the world and went back in time. Instead of the whole, oh man, Superman, we need you to save the multiverse because a black hole got created or whatever the case is. I'm just like, oh gosh, why can't it just be a small story? I couldn't, but but hey, but here I am again, slowly trying to build myself up for excitement to watch the Fantastic Four, which again, I don't have that much faith in that movie, to be honest with you, especially after all the previews that they're just throwing out and stuff like that, where they're just like, oh man, we have another Fantastic Four trailer. And I'm just like, you guys are showing too much. You guys are showing way too much. Oh, now we know what the plot is. Oh, Galactus wants their son, but they don't want to give it to him. So now the world's probably going to hate him. They're probably going to end up leaving the Earth. The Earth's going to blow up. They're going to have their kids. They're going to fucking fly to our Earth. And then next thing you know, the Thunderbolts are going to see him. Or, counter thought, maybe they give the baby to Galactus. They have to flee the world and whatever the case is. But I don't know. It just doesn't instill me with confidence of whatever's next for whatever. Like I mean, fingers crossed, Secret World Words is gonna be good and stuff like that. But it's just like, dude, I just need to see something new. I think the newest thing that I've seen as far as trailers go that I'm like, ooh, this could be a cool movie. Um, what's it called? Yeah, shit, fuck. Weapons. That's from the same writer, director, creators of the movie Barbarian. I'm excited for that. Like I'm very excited for that. But as far as everything else goes, yeah, as far as everything else goes, I'm like, nah, I can just like half of the stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I can probably wait for that. I'll wait for that. I'll wait for that. Because again, I don't see any reason to let me go ahead and rush out and spend my money on a movie theater. Then of course I got to get the obligatory popcorn and soda and candy and stuff like that. Then I got to sit in a theater for 2 hours and hope that the movie's gonna be at least okay. But I don't know, man. It just bothers me. So that's kind of why that's a big reason why I just, let me just start making my own little versions of TV, movies, shows, or whatever the case is. And I'm very clear, like from time to time, I am, working on something original, but I don't want to put it out there just yet. Just kind of want to build upon that and stuff like that. I'm also working with some other different writers as well because I feel like it's more interesting, especially at this stage to be like, yeah, but whatever they're cranking out is literally just slop. It's just like, hey, this will appease the masses for the time being. We're gonna make a show or a movie or a TV, or whatever the case is. We're gonna put a little bit of Trump in there. Everybody hates Trump, right? We're gonna put that in the movie, and then after that, we're gonna hopefully get some money in return from that, and that things will go on. But I don't, I don't know, man. All right, my rant's over. Let's see what else we got here. Trailer show way too much of the movie. Where's Rick Grimes? Trailer show way too much of the movies. That's why I don't watch them hardly ever. Completely agree. Merch Productions thoughts on the what ifs I posted. I didn't see. Dude, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been ranting and raving. So DJ129, I didn't see anything yet because I don't have my computer here. I got you guys all in the upwards view, the vertical view and whatnot. So I'll check it out once I get out of this once I get out of this live here. What else we got here? Will you get what? This is Sons of Anarchy. Anything's possible, I guess. I mean, I've never seen one episode of the Sons of Anarchy, so I can't even tell you what that show's about or anything like that. What? Or anything along those. Scroll up in the chat, you'll see. All right, let me see. Scroll. Damn. What if Chuck never went to the hospital? I don't want to do that one. What if Chuck? What if instead of Cruz it was Dr. Marie Schrader? That could be interesting. Vince and the writers actually thought about bringing up Marie and as a radiologist. I mean, that'd be interesting, but it wouldn't be anything. Marie and Better Call Saul will be fine, I suppose. But we never see Marie. I don't think I've ever seen Marie actually at work, so it kind of would make it kind of. I mean, not to say it would be impossible or anything like that, but it'll be fine. What if Marie visited Chuck at Breaking Bad? No. Another one is what if Kim in season 5, episode 9 was killed by Lalo during the face-off? I think I did that one. I think I did that one. I genuinely think I did that one. Good ideas, DJ. Good ideas. What else we got here? What if Landman heated... okay. What if Eve had joined the new Guardians of the Globe team? Interesting. Kai is at you. I don't know what that means. Merge Productions, American entertainment nowadays is falling apart. That's why Japanese. Yep, I completely agree with all that because nowadays it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you can tell them. You mean to tell me that people like, for example, Robert Downey Jr., an actor, is getting paid like $50 million or upwards of $100 million to be in 2 movies? That's insane. Like, dude, let's and that's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people get into the idea of like, yo, let's get the rich, like, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Let's distribute that wealth because it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you're one person, even though you probably have a family and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, that's an insane amount of money to give to anybody just for being in I mean, granted, yeah, you'll probably be working for a year maybe to get that. Like, and not saying that you don't deserve it because, hey, if you bring in the amount of money that these movies bring in, then absolutely. But it's like, even still, man, it's one of those things where it's like, man, that's why the world's so the way it is right now, because it's just like, dude, people are too rich. You don't. It doesn't even make sense for people to be billionaires, and even Elon Musk apparently is supposed to be a trillionaire and stuff like that. You still got homeless people in the world. Like, that just doesn't even make sense to me. And so it's just like, man, and the fact that it's like, okay, hey, we could just pay these people an absurd amount of money because they're guaranteed of whatever the case is. I mean, I think you see that when it comes to the newest Jurassic Park movie, that is not always the case. You can pay Scarlett Johansson or Mahershala Ali whatever amount of money you think they're gonna be worth, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like, all they're going to end up doing is just ruining their reputation, because it's like, oh, I thought this person was going to be a guaranteed draw, and it turns out like they're trash along with this movie, and no wonder they slept walk through this movie, and then they're just depending on all these old stars, it's like, dude, Brad Pitt, like, come, like, not. Anyways, not saying that actors aren't good for what they do and stuff like that, but it's just like, dude, when you see some of these actors and you're just like, ooh, man, they're really being lazy. And I'm not like professionally film trained or anything of that nature, but it's like you can genuinely tell when you're watching a movie where someone's just not into it, where they're just like kind of like sleepwalking through the production and stuff like that. And it's just like, dude, if I was a director or, like, and I had all these stars near me and stuff like that, like, dude, you are out of your mind. Like, yo, we're gonna do a take 3, take 4, take 7, and you're gonna act like you belong here. Okay, you're not scared. I'm gonna make you scared. Because it's like one of those things where it's like, dude, you're getting paid all these thousands, potentially millions of dollars to be in this movie. It's only a 2-hour movie, so it's like, I want to get the best performance out of you. So, and you're doing this in the movie? Nah, man. Who do you think you are? I mean, I get it. You're an actor. You're a person who pretends to be somebody else on TV. So it's like, dude, if you're gonna do that, at least act like it, you know, because don't act like you're any better because oh, I can pretend the best, you know. It's like, dude, that's not, is that something to be proud of? You know, especially if you're making garbage ass movies and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I just don't know. What do we what do we got here? What if Mike killed Hector? Merges. Yeah, just like the WNBA players asking for the same. That is wild too. I think I've seen pieces. I've seen some pieces of that as well. Where I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I feel like if you get paid a living wage to at least, you know, to buy what you want to buy and stuff like that, it's like, yo, millions of dollars. Like, dude, come on, man. Like, be just be real with yourself for a second. You know, like, and the fact that most of the time with these NBA players, these stars, whatever the case is, all they're gonna do is probably come out with a brand product, whatever the case is, try to oversell it, act like you're better than everyone else. Then when you go broke, you start crying on why you went broke, and you went broke because you wasn't getting paid the same as much as the men. And it's like, dude, there's no comparison. When's the last NBA WNBA game anybody ever went to? Like, come on, unless you're getting free tickets to that shit, like nobody cares, you know. So I just it's it's annoying. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It's a genuinely annoying. What we got here? Well, you look like a well-read man. That's great. Off guard. Wow, that's a compliment. I'm a well-read man. Highly sophisticated. But you know, like that's all I gotta say. You know, it's just a very disappointing point of view when you have people who make millions of dollars doing nothing, you know, and it's just like, yo, we got real problems out here, and these people complain that they're not making more than what they're making. It's like, dude, anybody would kill to make $100,000 a year, let alone, oh, I'm crying because I only made $1 million a year. It's like, dude, you're making what? You will never go broke again. You know, like, and I get it. Hey, that type of money's probably not handed to a lot of people, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, you have enough money to never worry about money ever again. You know what I mean? Like that thing, I think that's the goal for everyone. You know, like it's it just doesn't make sense to me, man. It's insane. Oh man, Clifford, the big red dog. Never seen it. I seen the ads and stuff like that. I'm like never seen. Like I think I'm done. Genuinely, I feel like I'm done watching a lot of movies, shows, whatever the case is, based off something that I grew up with as a child. Because it's only going to be a matter of time before they start making I'm genuinely surprised that they didn't make a remake of The Magic School Bus or Arthur or Caillou. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time before that happens, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, hold on, what is this? Is the A balls? Can I get a even? Can I get a raise? Can I get a raise even to come these break, bro? That's what I'm saying. You know, I think that even a guy like the CEOs and stuff like that, like, dude, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, dude, if you already have this much money, why do you need that much more? You know, I feel like 300 and something million. If you haven't got paid that once as a CEO, I feel like you don't. I think your days of getting paid should be over at that point because it's like you're good. You know, like there should be nothing else you should want or need. I feel like unless you can like genuinely prove your worth and stuff like that, then it's like, yo, I got a $300 million a year. Okay, that's you get that 1 year, maybe every 10 years or something like that. Do as much good as you can with it. You know, like I think that should be the slogan, period, you know, because it's like, okay, well, after that, it's like, what do you need? Like, you want to invest it or whatever the case is, that's fine. You can invest whatever you want to invest, but you shouldn't be rewarded for the failure of not being able to secure the bag, so to speak, you know? So, I don't know, man. That's great. That's crazy. Oh, man, Penguin, huh? That's cool. I watched Penguin, the Penguin. Genuinely good show. Zero notes. I have no notes for that show. It was very good. What is going on? Hmm. I don't know about that. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I feel like That is crazy. So I said, look, Israelite. I've attended marriage so many times. That's cool. It's cool. Penguin. Yeah, Penguin's great. As a grown up, let's see, I realized Arnold was the only. That's funny. Um, what do you think happened to Cliff and Better Call Saul? He's probably still being a lawyer. But yeah, guys, I'll be honest, man. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been fun. I'll be honest, this live went on a little longer than I expected it to, just for the fact that I guess I just ramble on and rant so many times in different ways. Oh, excuse me. But uh, just as a recap here, I do have again memberships. Feel free to become a member of the channel, support the channel. It'll be great. You know, I can get access to videos early, access to the Discord. Excuse me. And of course, get your name shouted out at the end of every video. If you have a great idea, something that you'd like to share, I wonder if I can add this. No, I can't. If you got a good idea, you know, feel free to shoot me an email. The email's in my description. I believe I even leave my email in the description of every single video that I do make. So you guys that got any good ideas, feel free to shoot me an email. Donations are already there as well, just in case you're interested. If not, do not feel obliged. But again, just to kind of recap on the work that's going to be going down, I got a Breaking Bad What If that will be coming sometime next week. After that, I got an Invincible What If. Then after that, who's to say? Maybe it might be a Squid Game one. Who knows? But it's been fun. It's been nice. It's been educational. I've never seen Fargo, BTW. Yeah, it was good talking to you guys. Hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Because again, hey, when you just yapping for about an hour and a half, you kind of run into some interesting points. I'd assume, but that's all I really have to say right now. Again, hey, you guys would become a member of the channel, becoming that Discord, ask on one, it goes down in there. But other than that, guys, it's been fun. It's been great. Peace out, and I will see you all next time.